Hello! In this video we're going to play countless chords using just 4 fingers. We'll achieve this with the help of the Launchpad X, the free Ripchord plugin that will help us multiply notes, and whatever virtual instrument we want to use. The chord combination you hear in the background is made with this method I've created. The idea of this video is to show you how to do it, as we can also explore other variants. The objective? To be able to launch from the Launchpad, in my case, the greatest combination of chords to have a palette of colors and harmony to combine. This is a modular system with 5 pieces. It's not very complicated and is very easy to understand. What you're seeing on screen is Novation's software called Components, where you can create different custom maps for the Launchpad. Once you finish the design, you send it to the physical Launchpad to use it. There are many colors because I've assigned a color to each of the 12 notes in the chromatic scale. On screen you can see what color I've assigned to each note. Once you learn the colors, it's easier to use them in the maps. This map consists of 5 pieces. 1 horizontal piece and 4 rectangles that I've called R1, R2, R3, R4. The horizontal piece is a chromatic scale that will be assigned to play the bass zone or lower notes, which I've programmed by octaves, as you'll see later. In the rectangles, it's not that the colors are randomly arranged. It's true that the bass line has a chromatic path like any keyboard. However, for the rectangles I've arranged them like the circle of fifths. They start on C like the circle and follow the path of C, G, D, A, E, B, etc. Well, this is for people who use Launchpad, so they have an idea of where I trigger the pads. From the Launchpad, we send the signal to whatever software we're using to connect with the Ripchord plugin. In Ripchord, we'll modify the incoming notes to assign them to the notes we program. Those notes will be seen on the keyboard above. At the bottom, the signal that arrives from the Launchpad or your controller keyboard is emitted. For people who use keyboards, at the bottom you see the same notes we emit. As you'll see, each section, like the bass line and the 4 rectangles, covers 1 octave of the keyboard each. The keys above emit the notes we design. In Ripchord, this is a preset and you can make as many presets as you want. Well, as you'll see on the left side, 2 notes will appear in octaves to have a well-defined bass line. For example, you'll have a C1 and C2, D1 and D2, etc. That's why the bass line sector covers the range from C1 to B2. In the next octave, the notes from R1 and R2 come together. The R1 sector will handle major triads, for example C, E, G. And R2 in the same octave will operate with minor triads, for example C, E, G. Since it's the same octave where both sectors coexist, they can't be played simultaneously, because otherwise the notes would overlap or create dissonances. But separately, these 2 sectors can combine with the rest perfectly. The R3 and R4 sectors work with assigned octaves, but at different heights, 1 lower and 1 higher. They emit only fifths or inversions of the same, because each sector must not cross octaves. These sectors are responsible for creating crossings with the other sectors. The idea is to form different combinations. And this way we get a modular system, like wheels that keep turning, combining, and creating different types of harmonies. You can traverse the entire bass line, combine major or minor triads, and higher up you can combine with different types of fifths, which will give you a very versatile richness of harmonic colors. Look how the result turns out. Look at the bottom part of the keyboard. How few notes I'm using for the plugin to return such a wealth of chords.